and he's an author of the most remarkable book, Men Are on Mars, Men Are from Mars, and Women Are from Venus. I must say, this is my Bible, which I'm reading now again for the third time. John, thank you so much for coming today with me here live to share your wisdom and to share your amazing knowledge about relationships. I really appreciate that.
Well, I'm really happy to be with you again. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. And John, I'm so and grateful today to speak to you about how to find your soulmate, because I know you're expert on relationships and you talk a lot about man and woman and how to translate each other languages, how to understand. But what those single people can do to attract a soulmate, how they can find one?
Well, I think the first thing is whenever you're looking for anything, you want realistic expectations. You're not looking for a perfect person. The right attitude is to be open to attract the right person to you, to be attracted to the right person in a healthy way. And if you were to visit my house, you think, oh, it's very beautiful. But if you want to buy my house, if you're smart, you would first look under the house and look at the bills and how much it costs and all those various things, cracks. So when you're buying something, your mind goes into a slight fight or flight response because this is going to be forever. So you go into a bias of negativity and you become hypercritical and you get out of the flow. So rather than looking for your soulmate, you want to first look for a series of positive dating experiences with many people or one person. Your whole focus is positive experience. And by lowering your expectations from I'm looking for my perfect partner, your expectations are appropriate in that you're looking for positive experiences. How's that sound to you?
I love that because I think now you're spot on. So often girls and guys, they go on a date, and I must say I've been there before as well. And you almost go with your checklist and you think, okay, are you matching or not? Are you the one or not? Are you the one, my soulmate or not? What happens? The pleasure of that dating experience goes away. It fades away. So I think what you're saying there is really spot on. So basically, it's about going dating for fun. But how about the standards? Don't we have to stick to our standards? Surely we should somehow.
Of course, that's why your standard is having a safe and enjoyable dating experience. If you're expecting a soulmate, you will always be disappointed to a great extent. And for women, what percent of women are listening versus men, do you think?
Probably around about 70%, I would say.
Yeah, so let's primarily focus on women for a moment, which is what I hear from women again and again, I've been doing this over 45 years, is they get involved with a guy, they sort of get swept off by the romantic feelings of attraction, and they have sex, and he never calls back. It's the poof. He disappears. He doesn't call back. And it's a major issue. And I remember back in the 90s, there was a very popular book as well called He's Just Not Into You, because that was the number one question I would get versus most therapists would get is, why didn't he call back? Why doesn't he call back? And the answer to that is next, or there's another answer to that, which is to understand men in a different way from women. Because when women have sex, they bond. Literally, it starts triggering hormones inside that say, let's have more of this. Now, what hormone is that? That hormone is estrogen. And the women, when they have sex, if they're enjoying it, their estrogen levels will go 20 times higher than a man's. Okay, that's normally they're 10 times higher if she's happy and you're comparing it to a happy man, healthy, happy man. Women have 20 times more estrogen. So when she has sex, it actually doubles that if she enjoys the sex, and estrogen is a bonding hormone. So she's now thinking about him and wasn't this great and so forth. And when he has sex, his estrogen will go up like hers because that's more love, more pleasure, more enjoyment. That's what estrogen is. But then it lowers his testosterone. That's why men become soft after sex down south. Testosterone drop 50%. And that's biological. That's testing all men on average. It drops 50%. So when a man's testosterone levels drop, he no longer wants to go in you. He wants to pull away from you. It's when his testosterone levels go a bit too high, then he wants to go in you to bring them down into balance. Everything is about balance, homeostasis. So a horny guy, his testosterone's really high, his estrogen's low. So let me go connect with a woman who loves me or thinks I'm wonderful. And men assume, at least the subconscious mind, even the instinctive mind, if a woman has sex with you, you're getting the message instinctively that she thinks you're the greatest guy in the world. Okay, this is,
True.
it's like standing ovation. Okay, you know, I give talks, I get a standing ovation, my testosterone goes up. Okay, I go, this is great. So, so when women want to have sex or pretend to want to have sex, it doesn't matter. The subconscious mind immediately thinks, oh, I'm like a king, so his testosterone goes up. So men with low self-esteem get really, really turned on by women who appear to want to have sex. Now, I have really high self-esteem. I have no interest in other women except my partner. Okay, that's it. It doesn't even happen. I look at all women and like pretty little girls or flowers in the garden or wise women, whatever, however we want to look at it, but not as sex objects. But the younger guy will see women as sex objects, particularly because he doesn't have self-esteem. You know, he's building his self-esteem. But anyway, so this is all instinctive stuff. So you can't just say change. This is where men are. Men feel sexual attraction to anything that says, if low self-esteem or immaturity, anything that says, I want to have sex with you. His testosterone goes up, and now he has to have sex to bring it down in a balanced homeostasis way. He climaxes, his estrogen goes way up, feels really good. As a matter of fact, it's like cocaine, and then his testosterone goes down. His body has to rebuild testosterone, so he withdraws. He pulls away. Anytime you're on your own, you make testosterone. It's like right now, I feel so good because yesterday I really pushed. You know, the gyms are open again, so I went to the gym and, you know, I got my abs back. I've been doing it the last couple of weeks, but, you know, it's coming back. And what produces the testosterone is that moment where this is no longer easy.
Yes.
This is difficult. This is push. Okay, so this is like, I don't want to do it, but I have a trainer who says, do it. I know you can do it. Encouragement. So you go, it takes pure willpower and you push beyond just a little bit, just a little bit. It's that willpower is your masculine energy. Okay, so men have to withdraw to get back to the place of, I can do it myself. Nobody's going to help me here. I got to do this. Yeah. Whereas women, to increase their estrogen, they go to a place which says, oh, I don't have to do it all myself. I have help. So if you're over there pushing weights, women, you're not making estrogen, you're making testosterone. So this is a big dynamic difference between men and women. If my testosterone is low, then I will be stressed out. And if it's really low and my estrogen's really high, these men are more on their female side, then I'm lazy. I translate that into my friends. They're all retired, 69 years old. They're all like, what? I go, are you kidding? They're halfway through. Let's get, let's push here. But that's what men need is testosterone. So scientifically, we know that when men's testosterone levels really drop, their estrogen goes up, they have heart attacks. Heart attacks are not caused by cholesterol, arterial sclerosis. Half the people with heart attacks have no arterial sclerosis, have no cholesterol, high cholesterol. They have low cholesterol. These are little factors. They are factors, but they're very little. The real factor for men and aliveness is testosterone. Now, women don't know that because they often, what we used to think in science is testosterone caused men to be aggressive, so it's not a good thing. Actually, it's high estrogen in men that causes men to be aggressive. But we have all kinds of mechanisms that keep us from being aggressive, which is when estrogen goes up during a climax, then the body will go into, oh, okay, now I need to lower my estrogen. Because if you're out of balance, you lower the estrogen and you rebuild your testosterone and you withdraw. So he goes poof, he's gone if it's just a sexual experience. If he's bonded with you in his mind and his heart, then when he sexually has that experience and then there's nothing afterwards, the testosterone drops, he's still bonded to you in his heart and in his mind. That juice is still there. But there's no sexual attraction after climax for men. I mean, you've got to pull, it pulls away. That's why they sort of inch away
Yeah.
afterwards, or they disappear. It's not about you. You don't smell bad or anything. It was actually, you were so good that now he pulls away. And when he pulls away, he likes himself more and likes you less. Just to know that, women, it doesn't create bonding. What creates bonding with men in a non-sexual way, women, is what you want to strive towards, which is getting him to do things for you and getting him to listen to you and still be turned on to you. Because men's first go-to place if I go into a room, I'm looking for, if I was single and I'm looking for a potential mate, the first thing I need to look for is who in my mind could I have sex with?
Right.
Okay. Now, if I'm an immature guy, I'll get an erection just looking at that person. But, later on, you kind of go, well, wait a second, I'm not yet having sex. But all of your newscasters, for example, they basically have a principle for most of them, which is she sexable? Okay, yeah. That's a polite way of saying it. Because men's attention goes there, and women also will go there too. We all are attracted to beauty. Women are attracted to that's cute, that's beautiful. When girls are talking to each other, code language for sexy is, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Because you're not allowed to say that's so sexy. What? You want sex? So there's a reality here, which is if a woman just wants sex, she's way out of balance. Okay. Yeah. And people are out of balance. Okay. And if a man just wants to have a relationship and he doesn't feel sexual attraction, it's the wrong person. So we start south with a sexual attraction, the potential to have sex with you, but then that gives us the energy to then plan a date and do things for you. That's doing things for you. Now he bonds. Oh, I do this. I just called her up and she's happy to talk to me. And I planned a date and she said yes. And I paid for the dinner. See, all these things, men bond by giving. Women bond by receiving. Okay, this is like the opposite of what women think. Oh, I'll give and give and give and he'll bond with me. No. If you give more to him than he's giving to you, there's no bonding. He bonds with himself. But can you relate to some of this?
Absolutely. And I can relate myself because I've been in this situation before. When you want to care so much and you give so much to a man, but he feels smothered. He feels like you're looking after him like a little baby, and actually it's not attractive to men at all. They don't like it. So it took me ages to realize what mistake I was doing. I was over caring. I was over smothering them with my care, my love.
Yeah, smothering is a good word. Smothering, mothering.
Yeah, exactly. That was a big mistake. But I also know that very often men, what you mentioned there, they are attracted to women visually, right? They look at the woman and they think, do I want it or do I don't want it? However, there's always a big probability. It could be the wrong day. It could be the wrong outfit. It could be bad hair day, right? So what to do in this situation when, for example, man and woman, they met together and maybe she wasn't looking in her best? Do you think there's any chance for women to re-enter again into man's space for him to see her for the second time with a different outlook? Or is it like he created this perception of that woman with her bad hair day, with not really presentable outlook, and this is forever? What's your view on that?
Okay, first of all, let's clear things up. Women overemphasize how they look. We don't as men. We're very visual. When we say men are more visual, it just means if you take it off, we get aroused, okay?
All right.
If you're the only naked woman in the room, he doesn't think about other women, okay? Right. If there's 15 women out there, he goes, okay, which is the prettiest, whatever, who would win a contest? But it doesn't necessarily mean he wants a relationship with him. But when you're the only naked woman in the room, he's not looking at other women. He's looking at you. And that turns him on because you're revealing what you don't reveal to others. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're a porn star and you show your stuff all the time. A man in bed with you is not going to be turned on to your body because you show that to everybody.
Yes.
Intimacy is I'm going to show you what I don't show anybody else. Modesty. Modesty meaning I don't reveal this to anybody else. But if you're out there walking around showing it up all the time, then when he gets in the bedroom with you, you're not as special as you could be because you're giving it to everybody. Mm. So intimacy is see into me what I don't show others. And also what makes you attractive to men is not how you look. Okay, that's his arousal thing. Women put on the makeup you put on is for you, not for him. Men generally say, I think she wears too much makeup. We usually say that. And do you think I go around looking at what I'm going to wear all the time? We don't even, that's why women get upset. He doesn't notice you bought a new outfit or you have this or this. We don't notice that stuff. That's not important to us. Naked is important to us. But again, if it's naked to everybody or if it's too easy, it's not that important. Okay, men got to earn it. See, he doesn't want to earn. He has a female side too that wants it to be easy. Right. But for him to bond, you have to trigger in him his male energy, and his male energy is, okay, I'm attracted to her. How do I get in there? And maybe it's not like, how do I have sex? But the reality is, as a teenager, if I saw a girl, I'm always thinking, how can I have sex? Even before I knew what sex was, I thought sex was just kissing and touching. Okay, but I wanted to touch it. I wanted to get close to it. So that's this natural instinctive attraction. It's the instinctive part of the brain that gets excited. And for women, there's an instinctive part of your brain which is curious of who is this person. So you start in the mind. You're always worrying in your mind. Your mind is much busier than men's. If you look at men's tends to be more focused. You tend to be spiraling out. He tends to be spiraling to a point. Two forces in the universe. One is going out, one's coming in. Masculine energy is going to the point. The female energy is expanding out. When it's out of balance, okay, that's when it's out of balance. You want both those things together. Actually, bringing to the point is receiving, and going out is your masculine side. But women, when they go to their masculine side, they're out there and they're seeking to please rather than waiting to be pleased, and intelligently setting yourself up so that he knows what to do to please you. When he pleases you, then he bonds with you. And you first he's got the arousal. Okay, it's in there, whether you look at it, whether he's aware of it or not. There's an attraction. It's a physical attraction. Now, that physical attraction is going to fuel his mind in getting to know you if you reveal yourself mentally. So the whole key is while you're going on these dates, which you're not settling, you're going for the primary thing, which is a man is more interested in you than you're interested in him. That's the first thing. That's a very big deal. You don't have to do anything. Just get that. You're not lowering your standards. You're getting someone to do stuff for you. Now, the next thing, and you're not committing to them. So you take what you got and you don't seek out to earn. You should not earn a man's love. If you have a part of you that's turned on to a guy sexually, run the other way. It's just, you basically, this happens to women all the time with celebrities. Okay. Mm-hmm. We see this. You see a celebrity, you can't help it, I mean, I can give examples because in some places I'm a celebrity, but it's an illusion. I'll give my friend in the Beach Boys. They do their concert, and then afterwards there's a lineup of women who want to have sex with him. They're all turned on. I mean, watching that guy, he's skilled, he's powerful. All these other women are interested in him. That makes a man more attractive to a woman. Okay, so suddenly he's so attractive. So there's this part of her that gets turned on because she has low self-esteem. Yeah. And maybe it doesn't have to be that low if there's superstars out there. But see, what's happening is she's feeling, oh, I really want that. What can I do to get it? And instinctively put yourself out there sexually. He'll be interested in you. And so, so my friend in the Beach Boys, who would have all these women in one evening, he said to me, I don't do it anymore. I'm tired of disappointing another woman. Because you get to have sex with a superstar. You feel this bonding with him. You're so excited. You're bonding. Bonding is your mind. Okay, now I've got you. I take you in my arms. I take you inside of me. You're inside of me. And he's gone because he has no interest in having a relationship with you. So a code word, I'm tired of hurting another woman. And some women you don't hurt, by the way. They just love having sex. They're like guys. Another notch on my belt. I had sex with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. So, but they're on their male side. They're not going to get their soulmate that way. You need to come back to your female side. And so that means a man helps you go all the way down into your body. So the first you do is mental attraction. There's a sense of safety is very attractive to women, but it doesn't turn you on until you get to know someone, or even more importantly, until they get to know you. See, that's what should turn you on, is when a guy does things. First of all, he knows you because you revealed your authentic self. He does things for you because you revealed the authentic part of you that would like to have someone do things for you, that needs people to do things for you in order to feel happy. So these are all prerequisites to finding your soulmate, is to be able to connect to the part of you that goes, I can do everything myself.
I love saying that. It's so powerful, John. I love the course. It's actually on your website, Mars Venus. You have a course which talks about how to have fun in during the relationship period, during the dating period. But also, I really love about that course because I did take it myself as well. You were speaking about how when men and women meet, very often woman will be holding the conversation. Woman will be asking questions. She'll be curious, right? And this man doesn't learn about her. So by the end of the evening, he doesn't feel he is aware of anything about her, right?
No.
She knows, but he doesn't.
I have to share, my wife trained me on a lot of this stuff, okay, if not everything. Because we would go on social things, and she says, John, you talk the whole time. You don't know anything about those people there. And I say, but they keep asking me questions, and everything I say is interesting. It just is. I've written 28 books on stuff most people don't think about or know. So you can sit with me for 7 days straight, 10 hours a day, and I'll give you information that's interesting and relevant to your life. So I had one of the most wonderful evenings 2 nights ago, because in Mill Valley with the COVID thing, people are coming out to the restaurants, but the restaurants are in the street. So they blocked off the street, and it's a big, huge area. So the restaurant was actually doing 3 times more business. The whole thing was filled up. And it just felt like Europe, where people eat outside. The weather's so nice. The weather was perfect. The sun was setting. The sky was blue and then orange and pink. It was a magnificent evening. I was with 2 friends. I will mention that I wasn't there with my wife. My wife has passed. She passed 2 years ago, and she's in a better place now. And I've gone through the grieving process to a great extent, so I can talk about it without tears flowing down my eyes. But I'm with my friends there, and I left thinking, what do I know more about them? And I didn't know anything more except a few things. It was like terrible. I thought, my wife would have punished me for that. She said, John, but they kept asking me, what's going to be in your next book? What's going to be in your next book? What are your best supplements you're recommending? I've got this neck pain. What can I do for that? And the woman was saying, I do this therapy. I want you to do the therapy. I said, okay. I really didn't get to know them better. And so now at least I have enough awareness to go, I regret that, because my wife would have said, John, you need to have relationships with people instead of just always being teaching, which is what she taught me. Okay. She basically, rather than asking me questions, she had to initiate conversation from the point of view of, sort of rude to sort of say, I want to tell you about my day. But actually my wife would do this. She would say, oh, I'm so happy to see you. I said, what is it? She said, I want to tell you about my day. I said, okay, don't say anything. Just listen. Really? That's all you want? Yeah, that's it. I'll feel so much better because I'm going to tell you things that nobody else knows about how I feel.
Yes.
So I'm going to feel closer to you because you know what I go through. See, it all makes good sense if we can just sort of draw a picture around it. And for men, think about what happens. Men want to have sex with women, okay? What are we doing? We're penetrating. Mm-hmm. Well, let him penetrate your mind first.
Sure.
And if he can still be turned on, now you got a potential soulmate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, here's where what happens is when you're pursuing a man, you get turned on right away. You don't even know him. If you're turned on to somebody you don't know, it's like, what? You're going to let a stranger into your house? Give me a break. So your body's designed to be turned on when you actually feel somebody can protect you and provide for you and give to you. That's the monkey part of the brain, instinctive part of the brain. We don't, we didn't plan this nose or these eyes or whatever. We got it from our parents and they got it from their parents. This is evolution. This is DNA. This is instincts. You don't know how you digest food. It just happens. Even when we talk, it's automatic. We don't think every time. It just comes out. So we have all these instinctive responses and then conditioned responses. But so we want to know that when you're attracted to somebody right away sexually, women, you're in the people-pleasing mode, okay? When you're in the people-pleasing mode, you're about 6 years old. Okay, you're controlled by your conditioning. And your conditioning is always based on low self-esteem. You're just a child. You don't know better. So you're going to try to please. And so to the certain extent, if you look at this from the point of view of psychology, we know that when women are attracted to dangerous men, married men, unavailable men, or celebrities, we know that they have father issues. Okay, this is sort of a standard psychological thing, which is they're wanting to find somebody more powerful than them and please them to get love. And so if your father, who's more powerful than you, your survival's based on them, security's based on the policeman, they're the protector. So if your father is not available to you in some way, or dysfunctional in some way, or an angry person that you have to protect yourself from when he should be your protector. So when you're not like feeling safe because of your dad, there's a part of you that's conditioned to, how can I get dad to love me? How can I get dad to love me? So you want to find a powerful man and get him to love you. And so you get turned on right away. Even if you've got that thing from your childhood, you can spend a few years in therapy working it out. And I do that with people. But there's a shortcut, which is don't have sex with men that are not available. Don't have sex until a man earns his way in. Even if you feel, it's just, and the key thing is if you feel like you want to have sex right away with a man, don't. Okay, what you do is ideally you find men who want you more than you want them, and that doesn't set off all that conditioning. So for a period of time, you get to live in this part of the brain, which is not conditioned. This is the only part of the brain that can reflect on a conditioning and change it. Let's say, my conditioning is when my wife was unhappy, or judging me or being disapproving of me for some reason, we start to argue. I become like a monkey, like everybody does. My voice would get louder. What do monkeys do when they can't communicate? You stepped on my foot. I keep stepping on your foot. You don't have language, so you make noises. And the more they step on your foot, the louder your noises get. That's monkey communication. Absolutely. So then what I learned from my dad, the conditioning is if an argument starts, you just walk away, cool down. Now I remember when I got married, I get upset, and I just walk away, and I with great confidence, and I go out the door, and I wondered, what do I do now? I never saw what my father did after he went out the door. So this is like basic conditioning, but actually that's a good conditioning, because what I tell men, if you're angry, you're just going to shut a woman down.
Yeah.
And you lose trust that way, because we need to be protectors. If you get angry, nothing wrong with that. What you have to know is when a man is angry, his estrogen is rising and his testosterone is going down. Now, that's the opposite of what everybody thinks. That will change your life, men listening and women listening. Because when a man's angry, he's not a woman. If a woman's angry, and I have my knowledge, I have what's called the love guarantee. Okay, now I know it's guaranteed I will get more love if I don't speak when a woman is angry. And if I will get her to talk more, her estrogen levels will go up and she'll think I'm the most wonderful guy in the world.
100%.
Isn't that amazing? 100%. Yeah. And see, guys, they don't know this. It's the love guarantee. He thinks if she's upset with you, you have to explain to her why she shouldn't be upset with you, instead of understand in greater detail why she's upset with you. Everything that works is the opposite of what monkeys do, because we're humans, but we act like monkeys. So if you're in a relationship where a woman who's attracted to a man just sexually, you're in fantasy world. In fantasy world, not only does it cause him to leave you, because a man only bonds with you if he knows you and he's done things for you, then he has sex with you. So don't rush the sex. And so that's kind of tough today because, guys are already on their female side too much, which means low self-esteem. Yeah. It also means insecurity. They're more shy, or they're more controlling, or they're more demanding. All the bad behavior in men is really, you look at their hormones, it's too much female hormone, not enough male hormone. So the dance is build up his testosterone by not giving him what he wants right away. Let him earn it. Mm-hmm. See, this is important. But also for you as women, if you're seeking him, if you're feeling sexual right away, and some women, I've had women complain to me, "Oh, John, you're so out of traditional, saying women, shouldn't just have sex right away. I am a woman. I can have sex right away." Yeah, you can. You're a woman, and every woman has a male side. We all have a male side. You're on your male side. It's your female side you need to work on, which is, and if you can't go back to your female side, which is vulnerability, then sex is a way to stay out of your female side and get in your male side. And by the way, women, to avoid, when you're single, to avoid feeling vulnerable in your life, even to yourself.
That's
Okay,
right.
okay, being vulnerable to yourself is to recognize, how do I feel? I'm lonely. I'm sad. I'm afraid. I feel inadequate. No one will love me. Everyone has these feelings if you go deep enough. I've done this 50 years. There's not one woman that I can't get her to cry after 6 sessions, feeling I don't know if I'll ever find love again. Okay. And yet she comes in, what's wrong with men? I need to change men. How do I find a powerful man like me? That your alpha woman is the opposite deep inside. The alpha woman is the opposite deep inside. And it doesn't mean that's a reality that you're not good enough. It's just a passing emotion that you're not letting yourself feel inside. So you become alpha, which is look at everything I can do, to avoid feeling, well, if I couldn't do everything, then I would depend on someone. And if I depend on someone, will they be there for me? And if they're not there for me, what does that mean about me? And then, see, these are all these, we have a whole inner cavern of insecurities and doubts and everything that gives rise to these behaviors on the surface. We need to become more aware. And even if you're not so aware, these patterns, these behavioral shifts I'm suggesting will help you go there, which is, if you're feeling sexual right away, it means you're going to be in the people-pleasing mode, and your monkey conditioning is going to control you to a great extent.
100%.
So give yourself a break to transform who you are when you're relating to the opposite sex. And which is, for men, I want to, some men are listening, so I want to make sure they understand this. So this is not the instruction for men. So men, what you've got to do is take risks and put yourself out there and experience that you can be successful. And you can't just let a woman do things for you. You want to take risks. That means you need to initiate the relationship. Okay, that means you need to ask her out. You need to take that step, and women greatly appreciate it, even if they don't want to go out with you. She'll think, "Oh, I gave out 3 numbers tonight." Whatever. It's a gift. So just you're giving her a gift. Just be kind and gentle, and have a conversation with her. Start in the mind. Don't go into let's go on a date. Give me your phone number. It's basically, take the time to get to know her. And every woman will appreciate that. Even if she's not interested in having a relationship with you, the fact that you can have a woman share her mind with you will bring your energy out of this insecure place, the young teenager who's turned on, wants to have sex with whatever he can, and bring your energy up into your mind. And let yourself bond in that place and get to know someone. And that's what builds your confidence. So it's literally, for women, when you're dating, in the beginning, this is a journey process. If you've not succeeded in finding someone, okay, let's say you've got good self-esteem, like my daughter Lauren, her partner is like better than me. Everybody always says, you can find out all Lauren's trips at marsvenus.com. She's brilliant. And her partner is 10 years now. And I go over to their house. I have dinner with them all the time. They have such a beautiful relationship. I remember in the last year where Bonnie had cancer, part of the time I had to redo my house. There was mold in the house that affected her. And so she moved into Lauren's house for a while. And she said, I like their relationship. It's better than ours. And so she said, I was great, of course. But she said, I like the way they have their house, and it's so clean and organized and neat, and the way they have their routine. I mean, she's been in personal growth her whole life. She's got it all going for her. And it's this stuff really, really works. But people always told me, oh, you're such a great father. She'll never find a good man. And I went, no, you're wrong. She knows she deserves to have someone love her and support her. I didn't spoil her. I gave her the love that every child deserves. And she found the most amazing guy. I mean, if I look at my shadow side, I'm a bit lazy sometimes, even though my best friends say they don't know anybody who works harder than me, and my wife would say that too. But it's part of my laziness is that I get to enjoy what I do. So I never really feel so much that I have to do it, and it's a drag. But that's sort of an enlightenment state that we want to aspire towards. And I got there by working hard and having my wife appreciate it. That's the dynamic. And so in the dating process, women, you need to have him work hard for you. And first thing is make him work hard for you to adjust his thinking to appreciate your thinking. Now, how do you do that? This is like the most important skill of dating, which is don't ask so many questions, but instead talk more. You've got to talk more. And when you talk more, you need to not, what should I say, edit yourself in any way except a certain way. There's two parts of us. One part of us just wants to share, and another part of us wants to convince. Okay, so I have a point of view, and if you disagree with it, if I'm an immature person, my monkey brain wants to convince you to think like me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's convincing. I have to convince you that I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to, this is my point of view, what's your point of view? And you go, oh, and it's completely different. And they might even try to convince you because they're monkeys, okay? They haven't learned what you've learned. So how do you get them back out of their monkey state if they're a man, for example? You give him a little food. You give him what he needs to come back in balance. So he has a different point of view. You say, oh, well, that makes sense. These are your three most important words. There's a lot of others too. But women, when a guy talks, you say, well, that makes good sense. That's very interesting. I would have never thought of it that way. How do you come upon that thought? Oh, I think you're right about that. They're definitely right about that. Now, in your mind, I disagree with 95% of what you just said, but you're right about that. That's for sure. When you say you're right, doesn't matter what you're thinking. If it's find something that's right, find something that makes sense, find something that's helpful, find something that's interesting. If it's a little bit more than interesting, that's brilliant. I would have never thought of that. That's amazing. And then come back and talk more. And from my point of view, I had this experience and this experience. So now you're saying what you think, you're sharing your experiences. And then what you do is sometimes, he's not trying to change you, but he's actually starting to enjoy the fact that I'm with a woman who's not trying to change me.
Mm-hmm.
See, I have to, these are very important things, so I have to give a little story with that one. But I have a woman who was, it's a couple, and they eventually got divorced, and now my wife has passed. But I was at some kind of event, and she was there, and I remember sharing with her that I'd been in Saudi Arabia, and how amazing it was. I was there, and because it's so hot, they eat at night. And at night, we went to a restaurant where maybe 2,000 people were there. It was out on the desert, tables, and everybody was comfortable, and all the family was together, and there was talking. Men were talking to men, women were talking to women, the children were all talking. Nobody was on cell phones. They all had cell phones. Nobody was on cell phones. And I was amazed. I felt, this amazing feeling of community. Yes, they have different value systems, and women are treated one way, men are treated another way. Okay, all that going on. But what I saw is a community and harmony. And I was so impressed. I said, it was very impressive to me. I really saw a kind of love that I don't see here at all. Although I saw a little bit of it the other night when we were all eating out under the stars, and it was in Mill Valley. And it was part of it was people have been so isolated. They were so happy to be together. They weren't on their phones. They weren't just bored with each other. They were like, we're outside, and there was all this talking. Our masks are off, So, but they don't need to take that time. They were all masks are off, all happy to be out in the desert and like that. Okay, so all I did is tell that story. And certainly there's political things. There's the way women are treated, the way men are treated. I look at both sides of these things, and it could be better. I think everywhere things can be better. So, and she said, I cannot believe that you just said that. There is nothing good about that country. There's nothing, the way they treat women, and they can't even drive cars. You need to have permission to leave the country, blah, 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 blah. She just listed out all her outrageous things about this country, which, by the way, if ever you're trying to change anybody, they're not going to hear that. They're just going to justify what they do. You can't throw yourself at people. And I'm a good listener. And I said, well, that's true. I see that's true. And that's true. So do you agree? I said, well, I agree. Really don't think we should be doing that. I think women deserve to have this. And, I think everywhere women have to deserve. What do you mean? They're bad. They're no good. I said, yes. And I had the most amazing evening. And it was fantastic. I've never seen that. I wish I could see that here. And she would not give up. She was not suitable to be in a relationship with me, I'll tell you, because she kept being so upset with me for finding one good thing that was right. She had to try to change me. Yeah. And I'm saying that because women, if you're offended by a man or what he says, don't try to change him. And men, don't try to change women. Love is allowing. How do you even define love? Love is such a hard thing to define. You can define, I need you. You can define, I'll do this for you. You can define, I want this from you. I desire you. I want you. You can define, I intend to do this. I'm going to do this for you. I'm married. I'm going to be monogamous. I'm going to be your one. You never have to worry about losing me. I'm your guy. Okay, that's my intention. And she's basically, I'm going to love you no matter what, and nobody's perfect. And I'm going to appreciate you, and I'm going to do my best to be a better person and love more. Okay, that's our intention. That's our vows that we make to each other. And then we experience this place of you can be you and I can be me. We're not trying to change each other. That is the feeling of love. See, love is allowing. There's desiring, there's needing, there's intending, there's willing, and allowing is love. That's what you have to get. See, because people written books trying to define love, and of course I've got some very lengthy definitions in the other places, but I've come down to having your hands open, you're holding and you're open to letting go. You're just in the moment. It's like the water is rushing by and your hands are just there. It's all flowing. You're in the flow, like right now our conversation, just the flow. And that's what love is. And not that we can be in that state all the time. So what we want to do is culture our ability to feel happiness and joy and gratitude. These are all expressions of love, generosity, forgiveness, acceptance, trusting, all these things is the flow, getting into the flow. But just to define the flow, allowing. Don't seek to control that person. And then you build them up in whatever way you can. And if you're a man, the way you build up a woman is you show interest and you ask questions and you offer to help whenever there's opportunity to help. Do for her. And what women need most today, now this is all, we'll shift gears a little bit because I get alpha women and they're not really that interested in having a man support them financially because they work so hard and they make so much money. But they do want this man to be equally or more powerful than her.
Of course. It's natural. It's natural for a man to be softer than a woman because then we feel that they are protecting us. Because again, like you said, I think every woman is looking for safety.
Yes, yes. You want to be okay. Now, so let's just look at. So I have alpha women friends. I have very successful friends, and some are single, and they make millions of dollars every year, and they're single, and it's never going to change unless they listen to me. They don't. They're friends. I don't teach friends. I just let them be there. If you ask me for my advice, now I'm giving you a message, hoping that it will make your life better. But if you're not asking for my advice, my friends just want to hang out with me. So, and sometimes they do ask for my advice, but they don't take it because we're friends. Because it's like, how can I put you above me? It's the same thing with families. When I suddenly said I'm going to write a book, who are you to write a book? We can't write books. You can't write books. You think you're more important than us? So we have dynamics. So what we're going to do, and that brings up another subject we might get to, is men in the friend zone. Because women often, if you have a man, and let's say he's not super alpha man, I have one friend, we'll talk about her alpha woman, but then there's another alpha woman who will naturally be attracted to a more sensitive man. And then she gets disgusted with him because he's needy.
now. She likes emotions, but then he becomes too needy. But do you think, John, as well, it could be connected with her being so masculine, so his masculinity drops and he becomes more feminine? Do you think there's a connection
Oh,
between?
everything is attraction is opposites attracting. So she's going to feel an attraction. Basically, she's on her male side. She will be attracted to in some women, they're attracted to a man who's on his more sensitive side. And then she becomes disgusted with him and pushes him away. And he will be never satisfy her because basically she is attracted to him on a psychological level because he is safer. Okay. I mean, he's this, he gives off the appearance of, he's in touch with feelings and he's open to that sort of thing. And so it creates a safety for her to come back to her female side. Yeah. But because he's so feminine, it pushes her into her masculine side. And also because she's so alpha, she can't get back to her female side. Because, he's feeling safe. Let's have a heartfelt conversation. And he's opening up. Now she starts to feel like, oh, I could open up, but no, I don't want to open up. And she's not safe on her female side. So now she's going to go to her male side, which is asking questions. Whenever you're asking questions, okay, basically you're on your male side. You're penetrating. Mm-hmm. So, you're going in. And not that women can't be on their male side, but for relationship, you want to have what women need today more than anything, particularly alpha women, is you need a relationship that will help you go to your female side. Now, some women, they're the opposite. They will look at this powerful man and go, okay, I want to have a relationship with him because they're tired of being on their male side. Okay. So many women who make a lot of money now, I've known them for many years. If they make a lot of money, usually their husbands were at home or they picked a man where money wasn't so important. And now they're getting close to retirement and they're kind of going, well, I want him to support me now. And I go, hey, for 30 years, you've been the big supporter. Don't think you can just turn that around. I want a real man to support me because you're tired of being alpha. All right. You set this up. Mm-hmm. So, it's like you're the moneymaker. But moneymaker is old-fashioned masculinity. Modern women today have both two sides, their feminine side and their masculine side. And if you're an alpha woman, you have a strongly developed masculine side. You have a weak feminine side that needs to be found, not to get rid of your masculine side, because you might be dependent on that for the rest of your life to make money. Yeah. And don't, if you're resenting that you have to do all that, the only reason you resent it, don't think it's him. He's not your salvation. You set it up and you are responsible. You have to, your happiness and your exhaustion will go away feeling that, oh, I have to do this. I can't just have a man take care of me. What you have to recognize is translate that into, I need a man that will help me come back to my female side where I can find my happiness. Because if you've been happy on your male side making money, you've got a good male side. Nothing wrong with that. The problem, your unhappiness does not come from doing too much. Happiness comes from not doing enough for your female side. So what you need is a man who is not as alpha as you. This is the news, okay? What you need is a man, he could be, but that's not what you need. What you need is a man who's alpha in a new way, which means that he's not going to get upset if you get upset. Put it that way, just simple as that. Is that he's someone who's so safe, mm-hmm. and a lot of these sensitive guys appear safe, but they're not safe. They can be safe if they learn the skills, and you can teach men the skills. That's the great thing. Whether they're alpha or beta, you can teach them these skills. But if you're a woman, you need to understand that you think, oh, I need to have a man more powerful. It's just so that I don't have to do it all myself. No. What you need is to come back to your female side and use him to help you come back to the female side. And that's romance, and that's communication, and that's intimacy. That's revealing your authentic self. That means taking a dive into a well of darkness where it's not rational. It's not rational. Just get that. If you're way on your male side and you were to suddenly really be naked on your female side emotionally, you'd look crazy. Okay, so just don't do it right away. Go step by step by step. Because it's emotion without logic. See, there can be logical emotions. That's on your male side is logical. Your female side is emotional. Just get that. This is who we are. I'm not saying women are more emotional than men. Many men today are way more emotional than women. It's they're more on their female side. If your emotions, your estrogen's going up. If you're logical, your testosterone's going up. Okay, so logical emotion is happiness. It's compassion. It's love. It's joy. Logical emotion. Okay, when you've got male and female in balance, you have positive feelings. Okay, that's what that is. When you have negative emotions and you're a woman, your testosterone is too high and your estrogen's too low. That's negative emotions. And for men, if you have negative emotions, your estrogen's too high and your testosterone's going down. You see, think about it, women. Let's say that you feel threatened by a man. Okay, I need your help. I depend on you. And he's not there for you. Instead of being your protector, he's against you. See, your female side saying, I have help. I need help. I can depend on him. He's my backup. He's the guy that loves me. My happiness is spending time with him. This is so great. I don't have to look for any man anymore. I've got it. Wow, isn't that wonderful? That's estrogen. Estrogen is whenever you feel I can depend on someone and get it. That's it. That's why women, when they see a doctor, their estrogen will go up if they believe in doctors.
Yeah.
That's like amazing. Women go to doctors way more than men because just going to a doctor, having a doctor raises your estrogen, which lowers your stress levels and increases your happiness. So you're healthier just going to him. This is the whole idea of placebo. They haven't done the study yet, but placebos, in my belief, work better with women than men. They've never done that study. But what we know is that when you believe something's going to help you, it helps you. Okay, because it increases your estrogen levels and your testosterone levels. If you're a woman, will go down and your estrogen will go up. You'll have the right balance. The right balance in women is lower testosterone and higher estrogen. So now I'm depending on someone and I realize, oh my God, he's cheating. He's having a relationship. He's going to leave me. He's looking at younger women. Oh, he doesn't have the money I thought he had. He lied to me. He took the money and invested. All these problems huge problems. Oh, it causes so much stress. He didn't cause the stress, just to know that. He triggered your imbalance of hormones, which you actually have control over once you learn my stuff. He triggered your imbalance of hormones. So you go, oh, if I can't trust you, I have to do it myself. And as soon as you go into I have to do it myself, that's testosterone goes up and estrogen goes down. And you've just created pain and suffering that you will probably spend the rest of your life suffering because you have this illusion that you can't depend on others. We all depend on each other. It's just that we feel so hurt when we depend on others unrealistically. And our expectations are wrong. Or we depend on others, like I could depend on my wife to be happy most of the time. But on some days, she's not happy. So I created a belief system that allows me to be happy all the time. I created the belief system that all women are like waves. And they are. That means sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not, regardless of what you say or do. Okay? It's done. This is human nature. And women could have the belief that all men are like rubber bands. That's another belief system in Mars Venus. They get close and then they pull away. That's normal. And they get close and they pull away. Don't take it personally. Don't panic. He comes back if you don't run after him. If you run after him when he's pulling away, he has to keep running away forever. If my wife crashes down and I say you're wrong for that, she'll stay down forever. So I have the power with my belief system, which is accurate in my opinion. It certainly works for me. If my wife's unhappy, I go, okay, it's a weather change. That's all. I don't like complain, oh my gosh, terrible weather. Some people do. I mean, they're really nuts. Okay. Oh, the weather's so awful. It's just like you accept what is. This is just what is happening. So if it's raining, I put on a raincoat, put on an umbrella. If it's cold, I put on a jacket. Now, weather's awful. If you don't have a jacket or you don't have an umbrella or a house to live in, I get that. Then the weather's terrible. But we learn how to adapt to situations, and men have to understand that women are waves, and women have to know that about themselves. Men have to know that they're rubber bands, because this is what happens. If I get close and then I feel guilty pulling away, then I don't. And then my estrogen levels keep going higher and higher. And then I start feeling dissatisfied with my partner. Sensitive guys always are dissatisfied. They're these really romantic guys that come on so strong and everything, they also disappear because they get so dissatisfied with you, they're gone.
Mhm.
You know, what you want is balance here. Finding balance is the key. And I just love talking about the hormones because it's just simple plumbing, you know. And and then what happens is once you're dealing with the plumbing, there's a million things that can help raise a woman's estrogen. There's a million things that can help raise testosterone. There's generally categories. So women, you asked me in the beginning, Olga, which was what makes women most attractive. It's not how you look. It's literally your estrogen levels
Bingo.
compared to your testosterone levels. Now, having said that, because see, a lot of women listening are through menopause, and during that time, women's estrogen levels drop, and it's normal, it's natural. Doesn't mean you're not attractive, and it doesn't mean that you can't have orgasms. I know a woman in her 80s having orgasms 3 times a week with my friend who's 68 years old.
You know,
He says, "I'm in heaven. This woman is just like orgasmic, because she has learned how to not make her testosterone more than her estrogen." So it doesn't matter. Estrogen doesn't have to be as high to be fulfilled as a woman as you get older. It just means that you have to not have testosterone higher than your estrogen.
right.
So it's like some women, they're so disappointed by men and the world. By the time they get to that place where their estrogen levels are low, they already are feeling, I have to do it myself. And there's no estrogen levels. But this woman knows how to ask for what she wants. She's not like your cover girl. I don't know if that's the right thing. She's not a Playboy bunny. She's not, you know, she's 85 years old and in a dark room, they're having the time of their life, and she's willing to try anything and do anything, and they have so much fun together. And
Exactly.
he even films it. He's not showing it to me, but he says she's amazed at how good she looks. But
Wow.
see, when you're the only naked woman in the room to a man, you're $1 million. And they have a very, very sweet relationship. They're not, you know, she doesn't want to be with him all the time. And he says to her, which is very wise, he says, I just want to be with you 3 days a week. And they have separate places. And she says, oh, I want to be with you more. He says, that's natural, but I know who I am. And if I'm with you every day, I can't be this amazing, wonderful person. And I relate to that a lot. You know, every man's a little different, but my wife said I'm an amazing husband, but part of it is because I didn't feel guilty taking time for myself.
Yes.
Because what I did because of my career, okay, is I got to go on these first class airplane flights. And one of my big testosterone producers for me is every man has his different ways to do it. It's whatever makes you feel good that takes willpower. Okay. And you have to overcome challenge. Is I can sit on a 9-hour flight to Shanghai up in my chair and meditate the whole time. Nobody can do that. I mean, flight attendants go, we've never seen anybody do that. No back support, nothing. I'm just sitting in my seat straight up because I'm a professional meditator. Okay, so not everybody can do that. It'd be like some guy saying I go to the gym and I lift heavy weights. Okay, I can do that. And it's just one of my abilities, which produces huge amounts of testosterone. I'm on my own. I'm in my own little cabin, actually, on some of these flights. So it's the cave. I have my cave. And my job is I even get paid to go to the cave. I go to the cave, I do my work, I come back, and now I'm missing my wife. You see, I pulled away. I did something to rebuild my testosterone. Now I'm going to come back out into the world because my testosterone is so high, and I'm going to share myself with her. We're going to have great sex eventually. My estrogen level is going to spike, and then my testosterone will start going down, and I'll need to pull away more, and I can rebuild and come back. Most guys can't do that. You come home and you want to just sit there and be in your workshop or play games, do whatever you do. And she's like, you're ignoring me. You're not there for me. It's like we have to understand men need their time to pull away. And she always says to me, other women say to me, Bonnie got this right away. Some women feel like, oh, it's a relief. I don't have to take it personally. That's a woman with good self-esteem who basically goes, oh, I didn't know that about men. You mean it's not about me? Great. I have time to do my life. You know, I can read books, I can dance, I can sing, I can practice my ballet. I got yoga classes I can take time with the kids. I can read that novel that I want to do. You know, so many things I can do that I like to do, a woman says, because he's off in his cave. Good. I don't want to be with him all the time either. But this whole thing of insecure women are not aware of having a life. Their whole life is him. And so she's needy. So when a woman has good self-esteem, they're the women who read my book and go, amazing, this cave thing. Thank you so much for telling me. I always thought it was about me. And I was like trying to go into the cave and find out what's the matter. Now I know, just let him be. He's doing his thing. And he always comes back. He always comes back. That's the dance. Now, someone with low self-esteem, they hear that. And what they go is they say, oh, no, he needs to be with me all the time. How could he do that? And some women will put it in the middle. She says, I know I shouldn't take it personally, but I do take it personally. Now, that's pretty average. He's ignoring you is what you say. And you have to catch that thought and say, no, he's taking his cave time and he needs that. And that's a sign. If I'm feeling needy when he's in his cave, that means I need something else. I've gotten too fixated on him, which will happen also, women, if you have sex right away with the man. It just sucks you out of all your other needs. You know, the adolescent girls will talk about this. They have these little cliques of girls that all get together. And then as soon as a girl has a boyfriend, she ignores all her friends.
Oh, yes.
It's just like suddenly her life stops and she will become needy. She will become desperate. And that needy, desperate will push him away. And then her self-esteem goes down. And finally, she weeps and moans about that. But then he comes back to her clique of girls until she feels good again. Another guy will be attracted to her because men are attracted with. If a man has somewhat healthy self-esteem, what turns him on to a woman is her pheromones. Pheromones is a smell that you put out when your estrogen levels are higher than your testosterone.
The question about estrogen, Monica Martin was asking, how can you use estrogen? Really, that was really perfect timing. Thank you, John.
Okay. All right. So here we go. First, you have to understand the psychology that stimulates the hormones. And nobody's ever taught this in the world, but the research backed it up. It's just they were researchers. They weren't therapists. They weren't teachers. So people don't know this stuff. So I had to look, where is the research? And what they find, you put it together, basically, the research, is that whenever a woman is in a situation where she needs help and can get it, her estrogen will go up. And I gave an example of that. Go to a doctor, take a class where somebody's guiding you. If you look at, this is something I observed many years ago, where you see couples who were like 60s and 70s, and they would all go to these parties where they would do old-fashioned dancing, where the men know their steps and the women follow. The men lead and the woman follows.
Yes.
These women are in heaven because that's where they produce their estrogen.
Exactly.
That's like sex for them. Okay. They're just glowing. And the men look like, you know, they're kings. Okay? Hero. That's right. So women, if you're alpha woman at work, let him be alpha man at home. Just play the game. It's a dance. Let him win. Let him be successful. He'll never be angry. You know, so many women tell me, oh, he's angry, he's selfish. I go, only because you don't let him lead. And I don't mean all the time, but I'm just saying, if you want to have estrogen produced, you have somebody lead. Another thing that helps produce estrogen for women who are religious or spiritual, where you have some kind of belief, having a belief system that I'm not alone, that I can pray to God, or I can journal. I have angels. A lot of people say they don't know what God is, but they have angels, or they have ancestors. Whatever it is that you've got invisible friends. Okay, so whatever you want to call it. Every day I call on my invisible friends. Okay, and I experience it. You know, just to share my own experiences, when I became a best-selling author, I suddenly had more invisible friends. And I'd be writing a book, and they all come into my awareness, and they want to give me ideas. And I say, excuse me, I'm writing this book. You have to find somebody else who needs to get published. I'm publishing me. And then they go away because I have an editor. I just take from my higher self comes through. Some people, what they call them channels, they let somebody else come through and the invisible friend talks through them. That's not me. This is just my higher self. My soul talks to you. This is soul to soul. And I've cultured that through my years of meditation. But that's a very important need. That's why if my wife was not in a good mood, okay, you see, when a woman, it would affect me, okay? It always affects me if my wife's not in a good mood.
Sure.
And if I can understand it and feel her emotions, then I can actually feel really good. That's called compassion. if I can feel what she's feeling emotionally. What we get caught up is women really get very little what they call empathy or compassion because women don't feel their emotions.
Mhm.
Sometimes they are emotional, and whenever you quote are emotional, you're like a monkey trying to change somebody. But then there's a place where you're sharing with somebody an emotional feeling that you have. Now, let me define that. This is really advanced in emotional intelligence. Have never read this anywhere. Nobody teaches this, and so basically we're living in this world where people think they're doing the right thing and it's the wrong thing, or instead of wrong, it doesn't work. So here's what feelings are, because feelings is very estrogen stimulating in certain situations. Feeling is not thinking. Feeling is a way of knowing something without depending on anybody else. I know this for certain. I don't depend on anybody else. Okay, so if you go like that, I know I feel that sensation. So sensation, you feel sensation. Everybody gets that. I'm feeling a sensation. Now I can have a thought. And a thought is you love me, or a thought is you don't love me. And that's based on a belief in that moment. I believe in this moment, I have a thought, it's coming from a belief that you don't love me. Now, that's just a thought, not a feeling. I can think that. But if I feel that thought will never change.
Exactly.
So whenever you say, I feel you don't love me, it doesn't change. You're literally talking to your subconscious mind and saying nobody loves you, you'll never get love. Okay, it's very, very important when you have feeling thoughts to know that they're just passing. They're not accurate. If a thought, it doesn't make you have a positive emotion, it's a wrong thought. It's inaccurate. If a thought makes you feel good, it's closer to the truth. So if I say, oh, I feel like you don't love me, if I'm upset, I'm just a monkey. So what's going on? Well, I feel my partner doesn't appreciate me. Okay. That's what I'm feeling. And I immediately go, all right, that's not a good place to stay, because I'm just reaffirming with 100% belief my partner doesn't appreciate me. And though you're saying to yourself all the time, my partner doesn't appreciate me. Well, you're throwing negative messages to this reactive brain all the time. So what you do is you look at what your feeling thought is, which is, I feel like my partner doesn't love me. And then you say, okay, what emotions does that bring up?
Exactly.
That's how you let go. If it's a painful emotion, your brain goes, oh, well, then let go of that belief. Your brain will change when you feel the negative emotion that's triggered by that belief. But if you just sit there and just go, I feel you don't love me, I feel you don't care about me, I feel I'm all by myself. These are negative belief systems people live their life. I feel I'll never be successful. I feel I'm over the hill. I feel I'm going to get sick. I'm afraid I'm going to get, I could get cancer. I believe I could get cancer. Then you'd want to go into, well, what's the emotion? Well, I'm afraid. Okay, now you have a potential to let it go, to change the belief by embracing the emotion. So that's a deeper level of vulnerability. And it's only till you can be and share emotions with your partner that you will then be able to release negativity, grow in positivity. And when you grow in positivity in the presence of your partner, then you know they're your soulmate. Because I know so many women go, how do I know somebody's my soulmate? How do I know? Because first of all, I felt all the right attraction. First, I was drawn to them mentally. I could share myself. I was safe to share myself. Whenever you feel safe, and I know the question you asked was how to produce estrogen. So when you're basically, anytime you're feeling safe, your body makes oxytocin. Okay, now there's many ways to produce oxytocin. Just getting a massage is going to produce oxytocin. Petting a dog will produce oxytocin. Foreplay will produce oxytocin. But compliments from a man will produce oxytocin. Looking into a mirror as from a woman's point of view, if you're a woman and going, oh, I look beautiful, nobody can see my wrinkles, that produces oxytocin. Outfits are oxytocin producing. Shopping is oxytocin producing. It's I can have. That feeling of I can have is safety. So, that's a lot of people become shopaholics because they're so afraid of this pandemic. I can have every day, like, I got to buy this, just to find the oxytocin. So you produce oxytocin so that then you can get in touch with, if you feel safe, then you can get in touch with feeling I need help.
Hmm.
And so if you're over on your testosterone side, it's because you don't feel safe. So oxytocin lowers testosterone so that then you can get in touch with what do I need. Now what you need, it's very important to produce the estrogen, is then to get what you need, or to anticipate getting what you need, or to ask what you need and get it. All right. So now that would be, oh, I'm going to go drive to this yoga class and have somebody guide me. My partner is going to do these dance steps for me. Let's go dancing, honey. And he does these dance steps for you. I need to learn how to invest. That's what I'm doing now. And a lot of my extra time staying home, not traveling, I'm learning all about investments. You know, boy, I wish I'd known this earlier. And financial education is so key. So, but as I'm learning from someone, basically, I can only do so much because that's estrogen producing. It's letting somebody else tell me what to do. Then I have to back off and do something to rebuild my testosterone, which is gym activity or meditation activity for me. So estrogen is whenever you're dependent on someone to do something for you that makes you feel good. And now women don't just need estrogen, just also to know that also what makes them feel attractive, that makes you most attractive at the times where your estrogen levels are going up. But there's other times, which another kind of attractiveness that women have is they're just happy. Uh, Estrogen is more appreciative, grateful, and feeling I can trust you, I trust you, and I appreciate you. There's another kind of attractiveness that women have, which is they're happy. They don't really depend on someone so much. They depend on themselves, but they're happy. Okay, there's a place, and that's called progesterone. Progesterone is when you're doing something that makes you happy that you don't have to do for others. Okay, that's another dynamic. Testosterone is what I have to do for others. Okay, and that's what women live in this testosterone world. They think they're being women, giving, giving, giving. No, you're being a man. And you go, but what does a mother do? A mother is certainly very feminine. A mother is an enlightened feminine. What she's doing is giving, giving, giving all the time, but she's getting more back.
Of course, the law. Yeah, you get
Yes, there's nothing better than having a little child look at you like you're God.
you exactly. Absolutely.
You're getting a dose of unconditional love. It's one of the sweetest things. And that's called allowing. A baby just allows you. Yes, do for me, do for me. And so you basically, you give and you give, but you get back so much, something that deep in your soul, you feel safe. See, the safety is there. You know, you'll see a lot of kindergarten teachers, for example, are overweight women, are not that, quote, attractive women. At least they don't feel attractive in the world, but they feel safe with these children because they can't see weight. They don't see any of that stuff. It was, I remember being a little boy and seeing roller skating. My mother would take us roller skating, and they had a little snack bar. And these two women were always there, and they really had a thyroid problem. So they were maybe 350 pounds. So to me, it was just like, you know, they're like elephants. And I would say, Mom, why are those people so that way? You know, and she's, oh, they have a thyroid problem, you know, so because thyroid is your metabolism that allows you to burn fat. And so they had that problem. But I just looked at them like, you know, like I would look at a rhinoceros or an elephant. It wasn't any judgment. Okay. That's judgment free. And they felt very safe because only little kids were there, you know, so it was like nobody looking at you like, what's your problem? What's your problem? So that's why you want, again, to create a series of positive dating experiences where you feel safe to get naked intellectually. But when you do that, it's different from getting naked intellectually and letting your monkey try to change somebody. You should agree with me. You should agree with me. And you'll discover that it's so attractive to not have any agenda of trying to change a man, convince a man, impress a man. Just be yourself. And some people, when you say be yourself, they're always thinking, well, how do I be myself and then express all of my monkey part of me that wants to change somebody and argue with them. Okay, so this is people pleaser mode. Is actually arguing is also a form of people pleasing. We're trying to change you so I'll get what I need, as opposed to, hey, I can have whatever I want. I'm abundant. I have friends. I have God. I do my prayers to God. I write notes to God, whatever it might be. My angels. So that's, again, a need. I depend on them. Another one, you know, I look at a lady that works for me, and she really is a very happy lady, and yet she suffers a lot, but somehow she's happy. And we were talking about God with her, and she says, yes, I'm just so lucky that I believe in God, so I will go to heaven and all this suffering will be gone. That was a belief system, which is eventually I can have what I want. It's the same thing of if I'm, as a man, I'm going off to give a talk. I know I'm going to get paid. I know people are going to give me a standing ovation. I can have that. So already I'm experiencing it in advance. If you give me $1 million check, I'm going to start spending it before I get my $1 million, okay? Because I can get credit. So this is human nature. And this is beautiful idea when it comes to estrogen, because many women listening, they work hard, they're independent, they're alone. You're at work, you're having to follow the rules of the customer's right. You have to serve them. You see, you're like the man. The man needs to make you right. He needs to do things for you. He needs to accommodate you. He needs to fulfill your needs, and then you get rewarded, which is money in the workplace. At home, when I do that for my wife, it's her love.
Exactly.
Men feel love primarily through women. Okay, so this is like an amazing concept. It's the concept of resonance. And if I'm in my masculine side, I do something for you and you appreciate it, you now appreciate. And because I triggered that appreciation in you, I resonate with your love. That's healthy love because I earned it.
Yes.
Unhealthy love, men can feel unhealthy love is they didn't earn it. So I'm eating ice cream and I like it and enjoy it. Okay, I love it. But that's not healthy love. I didn't do anything to make the ice cream taste so good. So that's why men get addicted to porn. This is a major addiction today. It's so sad because we don't want to shame men for their sexuality. It's like a very difficult thing because men are already shamed for their sexuality, even though we say, oh, men have the freedom to be sexual and women are shamed for theirs. Yes, women are shamed for wanting sex, but then men are shamed for wanting it. It's like we're bad boys. We're doing the nasty. We're doing the dirty. And, you can't just, if you feel like you want to have sex with somebody, you can't go and say, I was just looking at you and I feel like I want to have sex with you. What? How could you be so rude? And it is rude to say that, okay? It's sort of abrasive and whatever. So let's have social conventions are good. But the reality of it is it's like I can't reveal that part of me to you because you won't resonate with it. You see, a woman can undress and a guy goes, yes. A man just walks in naked and women are going to go, maybe not today. It's like, because you're not down in that part of your body. Yeah. You're not down in that part of your body. Men are down in that part of the body. Having a conversation with a woman pulls that energy up to his mind as opposed to having it just build up down there, create tension, and release it through an ejaculation. And this is our primitive brain. The most pleasurable thing a man can experience is an ejaculation because that's when his estrogen and testosterone levels for a brief moment peak. And then estrogen goes too high and his testosterone now goes too low and it's cut in half. And another thing is if you're dating a guy and you've gotten to the point where you're in a committed relationship, I would suggest never have sex until a man has said, this is to women, a man has said that he's not going to be seeing other women. He's not having sex with other women. He just wants to be with you.
And
that's safety. Yes. That's safety. Then your estrogen levels can soar. Then you will fully enjoy sex. Because if you don't enjoy sex, he failed at his job and he will lose interest in you.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have to have orgasms, okay? At that stage, if you're going to have sex, you have to have an orgasm. And if you have an orgasm, it needs to be a feminine orgasm, which means he did it for you. No vibrator, no touching yourself afterwards to have your orgasm. He needs to give you the orgasm. Then I did it. Oh, you want to kill his interest in you? Get your vibrator out or do it afterwards. Basically the whole thing is men need to know manners. Never have a climax before her. If you have a climax before her, your testosterone levels will go way down. Well, if you have a climax after her climax, then they only go down 50%. Now, here's the next thing when you're dating women. This is your secret weapon. Once you get to the point where you're in a committed relationship, you've gone back and forth a bit, and it's only men gain confidence to make a commitment if they miss you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? So he gets close to you, and he can't have you every day. Okay, it's like if you keep eating all day, you don't even want to eat after a while. You need to come back to your life where you're happy and you're not dependent on him for being happy. And if you kind of go, no, I want to see him all the time, that's your neediness. It's just going to push him away. It's going to feel fun, and then it's going to push him away. It's too much estrogen, too much close time. And it's not always going to be that way. In the beginning, you're letting your energies get bond to each other. So he basically, in the beginning, this is your secret weapon. This is not almost everything I'm saying now is in my book, On Mars, Venus on a Date. Okay, so
I was going to say yes, because I'm reading that for the third time, and you have these tips in your book. And
yeah, it's all there. So, but when you're in the committed state, what isn't in that book? Because I didn't know everything about hormones in that book. Okay, and I didn't know this study out of Japan says that when a man ejaculates, his testosterone goes down 50%, and if he ejaculates it doesn't ejaculate for 6 days, it will double on the 7th day.
There we go.
Okay, so that means don't be having sex with him more than once a week in the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
And pray that he doesn't do porn. That's the problem with it. I mean, it's almost, to me, if you want to be in an exclusive relationship, it means you're not going to be having sex with anybody else, and you're not going to masturbate to porn.
Exactly.
And there's no way you can check on that, but at least, you can have this understanding. If we want to have a possibility of growing in love, what I know to be the case is for men to bond, they need to have the highest testosterone levels. Then, okay, once we get a little bit further along, if we're on a getaway or something, we can have a lot of sex, and then we're going to have a lot of time apart.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that creates problems. Once you're in that committed stage and you're going away and you're having sex, you're not used to having so much opportunity, so you're having a lot of sex.
Right. Absolutely.
What's going to happen?
Together, now you can do it.
Yeah, now we can do it. It's kind of like us going to that restaurant. We can finally go out. Okay, so then there's going to be a lot of sexual energy. Okay, great. But then it's going to go away. And you need to create space for it to go away. And what happened is women bond. When women bond, basically they're saying, I need you. And the brain goes, I don't need anybody else.
Yes.
I finally got what I need. I don't need anybody else. And so what you got to do is, with willpower, go back and tend to your higher power, your need for education, your need for friends, your need for work, your need for progesterone, which is this hormone of doing things that you enjoy doing. Exactly. That's after you have ovulation time. If you're still cycling, then your progesterone needs to be higher than estrogen. So you need to need yourself more than him, but still need him. But you also need yourself, but you need to do things for yourself that are not for others. So that's selfish time. That's me time. Now, my daughter Lauren teaches women how to balance estrogen and progesterone, a great online course. We're getting rave reviews. You go online, it's 6 weeks. She does exercises and processes and whatever. It's called How to Get Me Time, which is understanding these 3 primary hormones for women: their testosterone, their estrogen, and their progesterone. These are your key players. And then oxytocin, the hormone that helps to balance those things. So we talked about that, and people wanted to know those estrogen stimulators. Stop being so independent all the time. Start depending on people for things to make you happy. Also, going out to dinner. Okay, that's why that's romantic. Is you don't have to wash dishes. You don't have to prepare the meal. You don't have to do all that stuff. You can depend on somebody else to do it. That's why sex is great in hotel rooms. As soon as a woman, goes to a hotel room, it's not her sheets. She doesn't have to worry about them. She doesn't have any concern about the whole thing. The environment is somebody else is in charge of it. She's not. Otherwise, she feels this pressure all the time in her home. Get out of that place where you don't feel you have to do it yourself, and you can depend on the room service. Look at that. The best thing, room service, champagne, orange juice in the morning. Just like, isn't this great? Someone's doing something for us. You don't need it all the time. Even if you're a woman and you've got it all the time, it wouldn't work, because you also need progesterone. You need to do things for yourself. So if a woman has a husband who's like really good provider and she doesn't have to do anything, she's got people to do everything for her, she still needs to do something on her own that she enjoys doing. And the more mature you are, the more what you enjoy doing is caring for others. So that's where you're caring for others. You're giving, but you're only giving because you enjoy giving, and it's not a have to. But if ever there's pressure, you're not making progesterone. And if you're not if some women say, well, I love giving to my husband. Okay, that's good, but you have to make sure there's times where you depend on your husband for more and you get it.
Yeah.
So a nice way, and you're in a relationship, and even when you're dating, once you're in one of the committed stage, you can play this game, which is for 20 minutes. It's called Genie in the Bottle. I developed this during this COVID time because their hormones are just crazy. I'll just say this is that for people who are in relationships listening, and even if you're not, when our hormones go out of balance, we go into a bias of looking at negativity. If we're looking at negativity, then we're never satisfied. If we're not satisfied, our partner won't be satisfied with us. That's resonance, okay? That's the way it works, okay? And so if we're suddenly at home, we're so used to during the day, we have our work, we have interactions with people. Something I'm seeing as well is you're not seeing smiles.
Absolutely.
Okay? There's a whole thing about simply seeing, how when somebody smiles, you smile back. There's unless you live in Russia.
And John.
Well, I learned this when I was in Russia. Is people on the subway don't smile.
Yeah.
Not everybody in Russia, but there are people on the subway. It's called the Russian face. They said you have to go to the subway because I smile at everybody. I'm a smile being, but it's like, don't look at me and I'm not looking at you. And like, if you smile, like, what are you smiling about? It's focus. But we really need for our well-being to see people smile. It's one of the most fundamental messages that we're safe is smiles.
Sure.
And this is just not good to be seeing people with masks on. So stay at home if everybody's got masks. So you don't want to be seeing masks all the time. It's not good. It's not good for your health. When you see people, there should be a smile. And
I love that.
what people could do if they understood this and they believe in masks, they could at least, when you see somebody at a distance, pull your mask down and smile and then put it back. We really need that to stay in a state of oxytocin, which is we are safe.
True.
And that's more significant for women than for men. So it's feeling that safety, having different places. So when you're in COVID isolation, what's happening is people are home more. They're not seeing smiling faces. They're not going to church. A lot of people, the way they connect with their spiritual thing is they go to their church gatherings or go to concerts or any of those things. These are needs that we have. Have you ever noticed you can watch a movie on Netflix, but go to the movie theater and there's 300 people in the room? Feels great. Okay, you're part of a tribe. You belong. Belonging is a very big need that we have. You need to be in groups. You need to be alone. You need to be in groups. You need to serve groups. You need to have a big group up here, all your friends in heaven helping you. It's just all these are human needs, and suddenly we're not getting it.
Exactly.
So that's
Can I say, John, today you served us absolutely. I feel like our bucket of the knowledge of the appreciation of you just overflowing right now, because you took us all the way from the journey from being single, what you need to do to attract a man is being happy, being joyful, doing things for yourself, make sure you look presentable, make sure you're happy.
Makes you happy.
Man, when you meet a man, don't chase him like a cat. Let him go away and he will come back. And then when you're in relationships, make sure you give each other space. John, I must say, I cannot hold you any more longer because I know you have things to do.
And I know we have to end, but let me quickly say the game.
Sure.
20 minutes. 20 minutes. He is your genie in a bottle and you can't do anything for yourself. You have to ask for help for 20 minutes, and you only ask him to do things he can do within that 20 minutes. And his job is to say yes right away. Your job is to ask for help. It could be make me a meal. It could be feed me. It could be give me a foot massage. It could be clean up the kitchen. But you're not allowed to say clean up the kitchen, and always remember to do that in the future. This is not about what he should do in the future. It's immediate right now, because he gets to feel I did something, you appreciated it. You get to feel I'm powerless and I need help and I can get it. And your hormones will start coming back into balance. And thank you so much. It's been a lovely, lovely time with you today.
It was lovely for me and everybody else, because I'm not sure if you have seen the comments or not, but we had so many comments from people saying, loving the conversation, good stuff to know, and obviously questions and hellos. And Satwinder said, John, you're brilliant. We had so many wonderful compliments, including one from Sat who says, absolutely, F Good, brilliant. He says, well said and so, so true. But honestly, John, every time we meet, it is absolutely phenomenal conversation. And I would love to talk to you for 10 hours. In fact, I would love to listen to you for 10 hours because you have so much. But I know you're coming back live again this Thursday. It is 6 p.m. our UK time, and I think it is 1 p.m. EST time. But what I'll do, I'll definitely below this video will share your links to your live on Facebook and also all the links to your website, which is full of valuable information, including the course which you mentioned, which is really, really valuable. I took it myself, I enjoyed thoroughly, and I learned quite a lot. Even though I know about relationship quite a lot because I work with people as well myself, but that was very, very eye-opening. So, John, thank you so much for today. I enjoyed and thoroughly enjoyed listening to you, but I will look forward to definitely listening to you again on your live on Thursday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you everybody who was listening in today. I really appreciate you, and John, I'll wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.